Welcome to Heart Art. We are going to make our very own pumpkin patch with construction paper, crayons, and glue today. To begin with this project, I use black construction paper. Doesn't matter what weight or style, all forms will do. If you'd like, you can even get black cardstock so it's a little heftier paper. Get a regular pencil, and we're going to start by drawing out our grass. And I try and vary where it's at for each student, so that way not everybody's paper looks the same. I tell the students to try and stay at least below the halfway mark, so that way it doesn't get too high. They also have the choice if they want to add one row of grass or a second. Alright, so the next portion is the glue bottle, and I use Elmer's regular glue, nothing special. It generally dries clear. If the students put it on a little too thick, it won't dry as clear, so try and remind them to keep even lines. You don't want any blobs or splotches or drips if you can help it, but if it does happen, it's okay. Do not wipe it off. Do not try and fix blobs and things like that, because then it leaves this trail of glue behind. You'll never get it all off, and then when you go to color, sometimes the crayons do not want to work on top of that glue as well, and you will notice. Alright, so this next part is where we use the Crayola construction paper crayons. And these construction paper crayons are made specifically, obviously, for construction paper. And I feel like they have like a white base in them, so that way the students can actually use them on top of any colored paper. So if you didn't choose black construction paper like I did, it's okay. It will work on any colored paper. If you use the red crayon on red paper, you're not going to see it as much, but you still will see it more so than you would a normal crayon, and that's the whole point. So to start with, I'm showing you here where I used just a regular orange-yellow on the pumpkin, and I made sure that we discussed coloring up and down all one direction with the pumpkin, so that way they didn't have a bunch of scribble lines. And we started with one pumpkin so that way we could focus on our blending techniques and trying to make it look like it goes from light to dark. So we wanted a glare in the middle of our pumpkin, so that way there was a shadow at the bottom, so I used a darker orange at the bottom. And then I also used a darker orange at the top, so that way it looked like it was rounded. But I tried to make sure I got the bottom done first and then moved on to the top so the students weren't confused. Then if we wanted to, you could take a yellow or a white and add that to the middle and help blend. You can also go back with the yellow-orange. It's up to you. I think at one point I even used a little bit of the dark red at the top, so that way it would pop it even more and make it really stand out. Now, I also let the students play around. For example, students were allowed to choose if they would rather have pink pumpkins or blue pumpkins or purple pumpkins. They just had to start with a lighter color in the middle and then have a darker color at the top and at the bottom. We also used a white crayon in the middle where I just used the yellow orange, and that helped their colors pop a little bit more. So our order of events was we did a white stripe in the middle, then if they wanted a pinkish red pumpkin, they would use pink in the middle, and then they would use pinkish red at the top and the bottom, and then we would go back with the pink and we would blend those together to make it look like it faded. And that worked out really well. Students could choose however many colored pumpkins they wanted, or they could just do one.